Howdy, it's Jim Morado, and this is a hot July day 2023 in Chillicothe, Ohio. This was our first visit to Chillicothe, Ohio, and as we came into town, one of the first things we noticed was a very large prison area here. You just notice it. There it is. And, we weren't there for the prison, but we were there for lots of other interesting and different things that this town has to offer. And we had just a nice trip. And in fact, I'm going to put up some other videos about the Tecumseh play that they do. And there is the Hopewell Culture National Historical Park. In fact, that's we're coming back. We were coming back from there as we went by the prison. It's kind of one of the first things that we encountered from the way we came into town. Very exciting park, by the way, managed by the National Park Services. They've got a museum and a visitor center, and then right next to it, they have the very rare Hopewell mounds that are still preserved. There were a lot of mounds all over the place that, as the years have gone by, mainly farmers kind of leveled those mounds out as they needed those lands to farm on. So it's always exciting when you see those mounds preserved. And I'll put up another video about that, but we had a great time there. And then we came to downtown Chillicothe, which is spectacular. This is a wonderful downtown area. Lots of great old buildings. And unlike some other downtown areas, most of them seemed occupied. A lot of nice little independent businesses down here. And we were just really impressed. And we stopped at this coffee shop, Paper City Coffee in Chillicothe. Lots of room, lots of seating, very cozy, very community oriented. We had coffee here, and we also had a really nice lunch. Friendly staff. This place was just the whole package. Bought some bread to take home, and that's very good bread, by the way. I would go back again just to get their bread. I had a turkey sandwich. My wife had a Fiesta wrap. And those were cut in half, so we actually swapped. So we both had half of each. I enjoyed both of them a lot. I liked their logo. And there's just, as a fan of coffee shops, this place was doing it right. In a nice old building. Check out the wood floor, the old walls. This is just classic. And I can't say enough about how much we enjoyed Paper City Coffee. 2 big rooms with plenty of seating. It got a little crowded. You can tell it's popular, but there were always places to sit at. And they've also got a free trolley that'll take you around town. And we hopped on for just a little bit. The town's very walkable. And, if you're driving from downtown to another part of town, this isn't a huge city. It's you're not going to have gridlock traffic or crazy traffic. So we walked quite a bit, and then we drove to a lot of places we needed to get to. But just an easy city to deal with. And they've got their big kind of public government building. And I believe, if I read things correctly, I think it is pretty much on the site of Ohio's first Capitol building. If I'm not correct about that, let me know if you're from Chillicothe. Chillicothe was Ohio's first capital, and then I believe it moved to Zanesville, then it moved back to Chillicothe, and then it moved ultimately to Columbus, where it's at now. But that's always interesting. I'm always fascinated. Not a lot of states kind of shifted their capitals around like that, but Ohio definitely did. And Chillicothe has bragging rights about being the first capital. There was our trolley. Look how pretty that is. That is slick. Looks very retro, but it looks clean and new. We loved that. Very nice fellow giving us our ride through town there. Lots of wonderful businesses downtown. Lots of nice little independent places. Stopped at this ice cream place. They had good ice cream. and you could tell people liked it. It got kind of crowded as we were leaving. Oh, I like those posters they had up. I love those kind of retro-looking artsy posters, and they had just some nice local type prints. Yeah, nice poster advertising some Christmas and July stuff going on. Oh, and we went into this little brew house place. I think this was First Capital Brewery or First Capital Brew House. I got my buddy a growler. We usually get him a growler when we travel. And I bought that t-shirt. I liked their logo. I thought that was great. Nice little independent bookstore. And then another shot of the area where the original Capitol was. Again, nice, huge public building there. It really dominates, and it looks great. And of course, the historic marker about the site of Ohio's first state house. So yeah, with the Hopewell culture, with Tecumseh, the first Capitol, the prison. The town has a baseball team. This is a really fascinating town with a lot of history. Oh, this was a candy shop. I think it was Grandpa's Candy. And we stopped here. I bought some stickers. They did one of those things, they call it a candy buffet, where you can fill up a box full of candy for like $5. I've got a friend whose kids love that kind of thing. So if you're in town, there you go. And again, great old architecture. Looking pretty. Not boxy, just a nice downtown area. I do have a friend that told me Chillicothe used to not have the best reputation. And, okay, it's, obviously, man, they have done a lot with this downtown. I don't know if this happened over the last decade or so, but I am in love with this downtown. And this is a great town. And we're talking about trying to get back again as soon as we can. Just had a nice time. Very, very nice walkable downtown area. And there's the trolley again. Oh, and we went to it's the history store or the history shop, and they sell collectible miniatures. I paint miniatures, and I stopped here. They had some nice unpainted metal figures that I ended up buying. And of course, they have the collectible ones that are kind of pre-painted. They look great. I personally like to paint my own miniatures, so I don't buy these, but I like looking at them and trying to get some inspiration and looking at them to try to see how they've painted them, to try to mimic some of their techniques. But I was glad to see that shop. I love looking around a shop like that, and they had some nice old metal figures that I purchased. And I'll hopefully have time to paint those in the near future. I mentioned that we went and saw the outdoor drama Tecumseh, which I believe this is its 51st year that they've been doing that production. Incredible, by the way. I've been to Broadway. I've been to Staunton. I've been to I've probably seen over 100 plays in my life. And this might have been one of the most spectacular performances of something I've ever seen. It just was so over the top. One of the actors told us there were 31 actors involved in the play, and most of them played multiple roles. And it was just something really special. Lots of fighting, lots of blood, lots of loud, obviously fake gunshots. But it's just action-packed. It's exciting. 2 hours, and it flies by. The stage, it's on a mountain. The stage is pretty much earth, and then there's some fake mountains kind of built on the left and the right that they kind of layer. You've got actors on top of the mountain and kind of up in the middle part. But and then you've also got the stage kind of wraps around the audience. So you're looking to your left, you're looking to the right, you're looking in front of you. It's a really exceptional experience, and I definitely want to go see Tecumseh again. And I know the same people put on like a Halloween event, and I want to check that out. I am just impressed with the Sugarloaf Mountain Theater and what they're doing with Tecumseh. I just wanted to mention that. I'll put up another video. They do a backstage tour. We did that, and they allowed video, so I filmed the backstage tour. I'll put that up elsewhere. Just can't say enough about Tecumseh. And driving through downtown again, you can see just how pretty this downtown area is. I would say there is kind of one main street that goes through what you would call downtown, but there's more to it. You know, you're turning off. There's other roads. There's more businesses through here, and this is just a really thriving area. We even saw some bed and breakfasts. This is just a cute town that is, you know, history, and yeah, we were blown away by Chillicothe. I also had just to note, I had some weird moments of deja vu as we drove through Chillicothe. As we went through actually this park coming up, and then we would drive over towards the ballpark later on. I felt like I had been through here before. I felt very much like I have been in this town, and I knew for a fact I hadn't. And then it hit me, 2011, 2012, we were really into minor league baseball. And for years I've wanted to get to Chillicothe, and we just haven't made it. I especially wanted to go see the baseball team. And I know I have Google mapped and Google Earthed Chillicothe a lot. So I think I felt like I'd been here before, because I had explored it, through Google Earth. So I think that's why I was experiencing that deja vu. And we'll go over to where the Paints play baseball in a little bit. But yeah, Chillicothe, we lived in Cleveland for almost a decade. I've lived in Kentucky for multiple decades. And this is one little town that's been on my list. It's got enough history. It's got enough going for it that I wanted to get here and explore it. But it's been just far enough away, that it's there's other things that have kind of bumped it. And we just didn't get to Chillicothe until, well, July 2023. And that's a shame, because this is a great town, and this is a town I want to get to more frequently. But it was just off the beaten path enough that we didn't get there until just now. And because we're going to get there here in a moment, about the Chillicothe Paints, I used to be into the Frontier Baseball League. It was one of my favorite leagues, and the Paints used to play in the Frontier League. They are now in the Prospect League, an amateur collegiate league, but they were in the Frontier League for a while, which was at one time kind of the lowest rung of professional baseball. If a player did not get picked up by a major league team, if he wasn't signed, he could still go to an independent professional league team, sign with them, and then hope that maybe a major league scout might recognize them and their talents. But it was a scrappy league, and it still is. It's still out there. The Florence Yalls up in northern Kentucky, they used to be the Florence Freedom. They're part of it, but it's it's not quite as polished. You're going to see some errors. You're going to see guys trying to prove themselves. It's a much to me, it's a much more entertaining style of baseball. It's not as polished as the higher levels in the major league, what you'd see at a major league park. But I've always loved the Frontier League. And this is where the Paints play. We stopped by here. I was hoping their gift shop might be open. It was not. And this is VA Memorial Stadium. And it's where the Paints play. The Paints, to their credit, that's I guess you would say an Indian name. They consulted with local Indian tribes about how to handle their logo and that sort of thing, and that's definitely to their credit. And we're at a park now. You saw a marker for Camp Sherman, World War I, I think, training camp area, and I think that area right there was part of Camp Sherman. So yeah, Chillicothe has the Hopewell history, the first capital history. There's so much going on in this little town, and they've got a great downtown area. But yeah, the Chillicothe Paints, not to get too sidetracked on 20 different stories. Just a fun team. I've seen them play, but not in Chillicothe. And they had some players that made it to the majors. Brian Tolberg played for the Padres after playing for the Paints. A.J. Atcher played for the Twins and the Angels. And Mike Cervenek played 10 games for the Phillies after playing for the Paints. So, anyway, yeah, just a kind of cool baseball team that's not affiliated with the majors. And I'm glad they're still in town doing their thing. And driving through downtown a little more. My camera was not staying put the way I had it rigged up, so you'll have to forgive some of that, but I still wanted to put a little more of downtown in this video. Do you live in Chillicothe? What have I missed? I know there's more here. There's got to be. What other historical things do I need to make sure I check out when I go back? Is there a ghost walk? Is there a historic tour? Or is anybody doing like a ghost walk? I love those. And I bet this would be a great town for a ghost walk. Let me know if there are some tours around town that I can take. Let me know if there's another cool coffee shop or bookstore I need to check out too. And of course, let me know if there's some other Civil War or early pioneer type history that we neglected to catch on this trip. Oh, and I know we actually stayed in Circleville. We hung out in Chillicothe, but we got a good rate on a hotel in Circleville, 20 miles up the road. Another cool town with interesting and fascinating history. They do a pumpkin festival, I think, around Halloween. They do some other stuff. So this whole region is just packed with cool history and cool stuff to do. But we enjoyed Circleville quite a bit too. I'll put up a video on Circleville too. But yeah, if you're from Chillicothe, or if you know a lot about it, let me know what I missed. Let me know what I need to go back for, because I'm sure we'll be going back again as soon as we can.